Thousands of Alberta teachers rally at the legislature.
We're definitely a united front. We're saying things aren't okay in the classrooms.
While the province prepares to force an end to the strike.
So Bill 2 is the Back to School Act.
Plus, cracking down on violent and repeat offenders.
This would have changed my daughter's case years before this. It didn't have to come to this.
Victims' families in Calgary react to sweeping reforms to make bail laws stricter and sentencing tougher. And a daring smash and grab at a Calgary camera store.
He targeted all the expensive lenses and the bodies.
$100,000 worth of gear stolen in under 2 minutes.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. Premier Daniel Smith confirmed what Alberta teachers have suspected since last week. Back to work legislation is on the table. With that, teachers from across the province held a massive rally outside the legislature this afternoon. Thousands of teachers gathered outside as the speech from the throne was read inside the legislature. Many bussed in from across the province to take part. More than 50,000 teachers have been out of the class since October 6th, when they launched the largest strike in Alberta's history. The Back to School Act is expected to be passed very quickly. Both the province and the teachers union agree that they want the strike to end and for classrooms to be full once again. But as Stephanie Thomas reports, it's becoming less clear if the teachers' demands for improved classroom conditions will be addressed.
And we want to be able to end it for the sake of both frontline teachers as well as students and their families.
Neither side of the education labor disruption is budging. Without concessions to make a deal, Premier Danielle Smith says a new deadline for Alberta teachers is fast approaching.
They've got 72 hours to come in and find a different way to get the kids back in class and work with us on enhanced mediation. And barring that, this is kind of the last resort.
Smith says teachers will be forced back to work with the tabling of Bill 2, also known as the Back to School Act. 1,000 teachers from the Calgary region headed to the capital by the school bus load Thursday morning, unified against the provincial government.
I will say that teachers are worried. No one got into education for this, right? We're worried. We don't know what's coming our way.
The worry is turning into exhaustion as the strike stretches into a third week. All that time, educators have not been paid.
Being a single mom, it's been challenging for sure. I contacted my bank and they paused my mortgage for 3 months, and you'd have your savings.
She's also frustrated that the government can end bargaining without addressing classroom sizes, teachers' ratios, and the increasing complex student needs.
Forcing us back to work, and it's just kind of like, what has this all been for then, right?
The NDP opposition leader says the government is engaging in the biggest abuse of democratic rights in Alberta's history.
But they're using the power like dictators, and it's an attack on teachers, on parents, on kids, on workers and their unions, and it's an attack on democracy.
They're going to ram through legislation on a Monday evening at the House so that they can achieve their end goal.
Support for these thousands of ralliers hasn't waned amid rumblings of further labor unrest.
And Stephanie joins us from McDougall Centre tonight. Stephanie, now the Alberta Federation of Labour is hinting that this strike could actually spread across the whole public sector.
Tara, it's really all going to depend on what transpires over the next few days. Labor experts we've spoken with say that in similar cases in other provinces, other public sector unions have rallied or gone on strike in support of one another. Now, also today, there's been further pushback against the education minister. Alberta's chief electoral officer has received a petition to recall Dimitrios Nicolaides. Now, the applicant has until January 21st to collect 16,000 signatures. Yes, that's right, by January 21st in the Calgary Bow constituency. Now, this is the first test of the UCP's new recall legislation. Tara?
Okay, Stephanie, thank you. Alberta's first bill of the fall session is drawing some criticism, not for what it does, but for what it doesn't do. Bill 1, a position usually reserved for the government's most important piece of legislation, has nothing to do with teachers. It's to allow Alberta to to opt out of international agreements signed by the federal government. But as Kevin Green reports, critics say it is really just a diversionary tactic.
The bill is being introduced to address gaps in current legislation.
Premier Danielle Smith says her government's first bill of the session will ensure Alberta has a say in international deals signed by Ottawa.
Ottawa can sign international agreements with other countries. That's their right. But this legislation, it makes it clear that those agreements will only become enforceable in Alberta if implemented under provincial legislation.
When asked for a single example of an agreement that ever bound Alberta against its will, Smith couldn't name one.
I might have to do a bit more of a granular look before I would be prepared to say that.
She pointed instead to her frustration at recent climate talks, saying federal negotiators had ignored Alberta's input.
This government is nothing if not performative.
The opposition says by making this its signature legislation, the government appears tone deaf.
And the challenge here is they're passing a bill that nobody wants, that nobody really cares about, and they're trying to distract from their terrible record this week, especially on education.
You have to understand that this is all planned out. They know what they're doing with these diversions, this deflection.
Political scientist Keith Brownsey says the legislation is simply political theater to direct attention from issues like education, healthcare, and unemployment.
They can assert all the sovereignty they want, but it doesn't mean anything. And I would describe it nicely as the Seinfeld bill. It's a bill about nothing.
The International Agreements Act will have to pass 3 readings before becoming law. It's one of 14 pieces of legislation the UCP government plans to introduce this sitting. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
Smith also said the province will be opening new offices, she called them embassies, within Canadian embassies around the world in the coming weeks. The Alberta government has settled a lawsuit with a coal company after the province reversed course on coal mining in the Crow's Nest Pass. Evolve Power will receive $95 million in taxpayer funds. That follows a decision by the province to revoke coal mining licenses in the Crow's Nest Pass. Another company, Atrum Coal, will get $142 million from the province after it lost its coal license in Alberta too. Alberta is developing plans to reimburse more people for private medical testing if a serious condition is found. It's part of a new proposal to expand diagnostic screening, but critics say it pushes the province more toward two-tiered health care, and there are worries it could put more stress on an already burdened system. Jordan Canagan reports.
It's pitched as a plan to allow Albertans to take proactive care into their own hands.
It is much easier to deal with cancer or a chronic illness if you can find it early through these detective modes that will be available for people to pay for themselves.
And the province is working on a system to allow people to be reimbursed for those private MRIs and CT scans if a serious medical condition is found.
Right now, the doctor's the gatekeeper. The doctor's the one who determines whether or not a test should be performed. We want to move to a model where a patient can go directly and get those tests and then be able to get them reimbursed if there's a problem.
But some worry the changes could mean those same doctors will take on even more of a burden as more public and private results are reviewed by physicians.
So we want to make sure that we're still following guidelines with regards to ensuring that every Albertan who's a candidate for screening has that screening available to them, and they are not delayed because of this new program.
In a statement, Health Canada says Canadians should have equitable access to medically necessary care based on their medical needs, not their ability or willingness to pay. That's why the Government of Canada continues to invest in strengthening our publicly funded healthcare system. There's also a worry it could bump publicly covered patients waiting for scans and add to growing wait lists. Data from the Canadian Institute for Health Information shows wait times for MRIs and CT scans jumped in Alberta in 2024 compared to the prior year.
What we've seen yesterday is the government announcement for more American-style two-tiered healthcare in Alberta.
And Jordan joins us now from the southeast. So Jordan, when could these changes come?
Well, Tara, even though the Premier and Health Minister already announced these proposals, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. Public feedback hasn't started, and the legislation is still being worked on. While Adrienne LaGrange says that it will comply with the Canada Health Act, a spokesperson from Health Canada says they're still reaching out to Alberta to try to better understand the implication of these changes. The legislation is expected to be introduced in the spring. Tara?
Okay, Jordan, thank you. A recount is underway in Ward 12 in Calgary. The original count showed Mike Jamieson from A Better Calgary won the council seat by just 29 votes. Sarah Ferguson from the Calgary Party placed second. Elections Calgary determined there was a sufficient number of rejected ballots to warrant the recount. There's no word on when the recount results will be released. A recount was also requested in Ward 9, but the returning officer found insufficient grounds, so Clark Harrison remains the winner.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
The federal government is proposing legislation to keep violent and repeat offenders locked up longer in Canada. Bill C-14 promises stricter bail and sentencing rules for serious crimes. And for families still grieving the loss of their loved ones in our city, it's a small but overdue step in the right direction. Here's Terry Fikowski.
Melanie, I can never get it back. I can never hear her voice.
It has been nearly 2 years since Maria and Andrea Nicolaitis' daughter was stabbed to death by her estranged husband, and the pain in knowing it could have been prevented is still palpable. Her killer, Carrie Gerling, was repeatedly released from court with a no-contact order on past charges against her, including sexual assault.
He ignored every single one of them. He should have been in jail long before this.
A new bill tabled by the Liberal government Thursday intends to make it harder to get bail for violent and repeat offenders.
This is a package of sweeping reforms that includes more than 80 targeted measures that will make bail laws stricter and sentencing tougher.
The proposed changes create reverse onuses, meaning it's on the accused to make a case why they should be granted bail while awaiting trial. But not everyone is on side.
Release provisions. And that is that the person's not guilty at that point in time. They're innocent until proven guilty. We're just talking about pre-charge procedures.
The changes would also allow for consecutive sentences, so multiple sentences can't be served at the same time. It's a positive move for Karen Venables, who runs a homicide victim support group and will mark the 23rd anniversary of her son Devin's death next month, who was killed outside a pub.
He served 22 months, totally incarcerated. Is that enough for a life? I don't know. For us, it wasn't.
Police advocates and politicians have demanded these changes, though there's skepticism it will solely reduce rising crime in Canada.
If you want to reduce crime, you got to tackle the root causes of crime. But this will make people safer. There is no doubt about that in my mind. This will likely save some people from harm.
For the Nicolaitis, the change is overdue, but a step in the right direction for a system they believe failed their daughter.
A baby step. This should have been done long time ago. It's too late in my case and in our family. It's too late.
Terry Fikowski, CTV News, Calgary.
The Calgary Police Service says in a statement that it continues to see people with extensive histories of violence and a disregard for court orders being released back into communities, and it supports the changes under Bill C-48. A manhole explosion at a downtown excavation site sent 4 people to hospital this morning. The explosion happened just before 8 a.m. on McLeod Trail next to the BMO Centre. NMAX was working underground at the time. Calgary Fire says crews were able to get an extinguishing agent down to stop the flames quickly.
What we got from the crews initially reporting, they did have like a visible like flames coming out of the hole just for like a quick second as they got themselves out. So it was more of like a quick flash of fire.
5 people were injured, 4 were taken to hospital, but were not seriously hurt. Both NMAX and fire investigators are now looking into the cause. A large grass fire raced through a field near Airport Trail this morning. It burned on the west side of Deerfoot and covered an area about the size of 2 football fields. Fire crews were able to get it under control and no buildings were threatened. Danielle joins us now. We aren't usually seeing grass fires this far into October.
No, we haven't. And it's been dry and we don't have much moisture in the forecast. So it's still a possibility, especially over the next couple of days, while temperatures will remain warm. And yes, warm, yes, windy. It's been a bit breezy out here today in the city. We had gusts just over 40 kilometers per hour, and that's possible at times throughout tonight and through tomorrow as well. We got to a high of 16 today. We're now down to 14 at the airport as it cools off for the night. Again, tomorrow, yes, gusty as you can see here at times, but this will bump our temperature all the way up to at least 18 degrees, believe it or not. Mainly cloudy skies. Your full forecast just ahead, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. A hit and run in Mahogany injured a pedestrian over the weekend. The senior is now recovering from multiple fractures and bruises. We'll hear from her family next, plus a plea from police. And a display for Calgary students to learn more about Remembrance Day, even though the teacher strike has sidelined the usual program. Stay with us. Police are asking for help from the public after a hit and run in Mahogany injured a pedestrian over the weekend. It's just one of several crashes this month where people trying to cross Calgary streets ended up in hospital. Alicia Fieldberg reports.
This 71-year-old has dark bruises and multiple fractures after a vehicle hit her while she was walking in a crosswalk. The driver took off, and police hope tips from the public can help track him down.
She can't move. As of today, it's very bad. She's on medications, a broken arm, broken leg, concussion, so many different issues. Thanks God she's in stable condition, but for elder woman and 71 years old, it's kind of hard.
It happened around 6 p.m. October 19th at Mahogany Street and 52nd Street Southeast. Police say the woman was walking east in a marked crosswalk at an intersection with traffic lights. A man driving a black Jeep Patriot turned right from Mahogany Street onto 52nd Street, hitting the senior with the vehicle, then driving off.
I don't understand what's wrong with that kind of person. Why he does that?
In this case, the injuries were not life-threatening, but just days earlier, 3 pedestrians were killed in Calgary collisions. And in Airdrie, a young girl was hit in a crosswalk, then scolded by the driver who took off. He was later caught by police. Officers say there have been more than 300 pedestrian crashes and 11 pedestrian deaths on Calgary streets this year, and urge people to slow down.
I've never seen a time, as long as I've been in this career, where things are as bad as they are. You know what? I'm sure the boss will understand if you're a couple minutes late, as opposed to them coming to get, having to tell your boss, well, guess what? I got arrested for hit and run, criminal hit and run. Now you have bigger problems.
People in rush for no reason. Just be careful. You're a driver. You have more responsibility than others.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
Investigators are asking anyone who may have seen that crash, the driver, or maybe got dash cam footage of the Mahogany hit and run to contact them. Last night, 2 people were hurt after they were struck in separate incidents. A man was struck while riding a bike on the off-ramp near Deerfoot Trail at Seton Boulevard. Emergency crews took him to Foothills Hospital in critical condition. The driver of the car did remain at the scene. And in the Northeast, someone was hit while walking near the Whitehorn C train station. An adult was taken to the foothills with minor injuries. Police say the driver went to a police station and reported the incident. It is the same location where another pedestrian was struck a few days ago. Police say the death of a man in June is now considered a homicide. On June 15th, Cody Mitchell Morrow was assaulted in Pine Ridge. The 52-year-old was taken to hospital where he later died. Police say they are still investigating the circumstances leading up to Morrow's death, and they'd like to hear from anyone with details. Police have arrested an Alberta teenager on terrorism and child pornography offenses. RCMP say the 15-year-old was already in custody at the Edmonton Youth Offender Centre at the time of the arrest. The youth is facing several charges, including participating in terrorist activity and possession of child pornography. RCMP confirmed this is the same Edmonton area teen who was arrested in May on a terrorism-related offense. The 15-year-old remains in custody at the Youth Offender Centre and is scheduled to appear in court in Edmonton tomorrow.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Let's bring Danielle back in as we look ahead to our 5-day forecast, and it starts really terrific.
You're correct. I mean, we have another couple of days in the warm sector before, we do start to cool off. We all know it's going to happen soon, but we have another couple of days to enjoy this warmth. Okay, so today we got to a high of 16 in the city. We're now down to 14 as we start to cool for the day. 14 as well in Drumheller, Brooks, 12 in Medicine Hat, 13 in Milk River, 10 in Pincher Creek. All these temperatures still, even at this time of day, above the normal temperature for the regions. It has been a windy day, especially south of the city once again. So 78 kilometers per hour is the maximum wind gust in Pincher Creek, close to 70 in Lethbridge, just over 40 for Medicine Hat and Calgary, and close to 40 for Brooks. You can expect pretty much these same wind gusts for tomorrow as well in your community. So we're looking at another windy one tomorrow. We are looking at more cloud cover rolling in. We've already seen this start, and we're looking at a cloud deck really developing over QE2, Calgary, and Lethbridge. So a mostly cloudy day for tomorrow. But it will be warmer, believe it or not, than what we had today. Let me give you the hour by hour here, and you can see that cloud deck developing over us. So mainly cloudy. There will be some sunny breaks, and you'll be able to see some blue sky here and there as well. And then a lot of that moisture will be off on the BC side until. So Saturday night, 10 p.m., that's when you're looking at some decent snowfall for the high elevations, the mountaintops, and then even some rainfall kicking in to the far south. So this is Saturday night at 10 o'clock, and then this will start to shift into Calgary. This will be a night and overnight thing, and then it's out of the way for Sunday. We do have the potential in many communities for rain switching over to wet snowflakes as we dip close to that freezing mark in many communities. But again, it's a Saturday night and overnight thing, and then things clear out for Sunday. So 18 degrees for tomorrow, at least. We may even get to 19. It will be a windy one, most likely gusts up to 40 kilometers per hour, but they could get up to 50 as well. Saturday, we'll see more sunshine, but Saturday night again is when we have the potential for a couple showers. 14 degrees is our high. So as you can see, the next couple of days are quite toasty and well above normal. Normal is 9 degrees in the city for this time of year. We will be closer to that for Sunday and pretty much all of next week. 10 degrees for Sunday, 8 for Monday, and we'll be hovering in those single digits for daytime highs for most of next week. That's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast, Tara.
A local group is pivoting to make sure young students take advantage of its educational program, even during the teacher strike. Valor Canada usually runs a program to bring school children to Calgary's Field of Crosses on Memorial Drive. This year, members of the 41st Canadian Brigade Group are setting up a display where kids can still talk to veterans and see military artifacts. The teacher strike means classes won't be coming this year, but Valor Canada has a plan B, inviting kids and others to visit.
Implementing Plan B is critical to Valor Canada and Field of Crosses so that we can still have our youth attend this program of remembrance and understanding stories of our fallen, understanding stories of our military history, our peacekeeping and service.
The Field of Crosses honors local military members from southern Alberta who died in service. The sunrise and sunset services honoring them begin November 1st. He broke into a Calgary camera store overnight and it was captured on surveillance video. Now the owner is out thousands of dollars and wants to know if someone recognizes this thief. And later, talk about acoustics, an underground concert in a Cold War tunnel. A thief broke into the camera store overnight, stealing thousands of dollars worth of equipment. Fittingly, it was all caught on camera, and now the store owner is hoping Calgarians can help find the suspect. Here's Jacqueline Wilson.
It was all over in 2 minutes, but the impact of this robbery at the camera store will last much longer.
The alarm company called us saying that there was an alarm. We were pretty certain that there was something actually going on, not a false alarm. So we responded right away, and of course the police were here already by then. There were 3 police cars, including K9 unit.
Surveillance footage captures the break-in around 2:40 Thursday morning. The thief seemed to know exactly what he was doing, filling a hockey bag with around $100,000 of equipment before fleeing the scene.
The main thing was the Sony showcase, and he targeted all the expensive lenses and the bodies. And it was interesting. At first, it looked like he was just grabbing whatever, but as we were doing the inventory, we realized that he pretty much left all the cheaper ones.
The robber also caused damage to the outside of the building, breaking through the store's defenses.
It's always hard not to take it personally anyway, but, you know, we are indeed a local small company, and, yeah, that impacts us all. It impacts, we run, like everyone, we run on real tight margins.
The store is offering a $5,000 shopping spree in exchange for information that leads to a conviction and are hoping people can keep an eye out for the stolen goods.
If you see any Sony products for sale that are without a box, without batteries, without straps, without manuals, without body caps, without any of the usual accoutrement that would come with them, I would be suspicious of them at this moment.
The camera store has a list of what was stolen on its website and suggests cross-referencing the serial numbers before buying any used equipment online. Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
Police confirm they are investigating the robbery. Tips can be submitted to them or anonymously through Crime Stoppers. Tackling stress with holistic methods. How a Calgary firefighter is helping other first responders dealing with PTSD on the job. The stresses surrounding first responders are unimaginable for most of us. On a daily basis, they see people in their worst moments and they're trying to do what they can to help. A veteran firefighter who turned to holistic therapies to heal his physical and mental health has founded a Warrior's Peace to help others in similar situations. Kevin Fleming explains.
He was on an emotional roller coaster and his body hurt constantly for close to 5 years. Chris Canales was struggling with how traumatic stress was affecting him.
I had reached a point in my life that 17 years on the fire department and all of the calls that I had gone on and experienced really started to accumulate and spill over into my family and personal life. There was emotional distance, there was anger, exhaustion, and just a depressive state.
He tried traditional therapies, but it wasn't until he turned to a holistic approach that he started to see a difference.
Trauma-informed yoga, breath work, Reiki, and somatic healing. A combination of these modalities has really allowed me to just tap into each part of my body and be able to understand and recognize what's going on.
Canales found a Warrior's Peace to share what worked for him with other first responders.
So he really has surrounded himself with other people who have a similar mindset on wellness in that it needs to be holistic, it needs to integrate different approaches. And when we all work together, it's way more effective than any one modality or approach on its own.
Megan Ovia says the first responders who were in the program are benefiting from it.
We want to create a team and community so that the work that we do isn't just a Band-Aid fix, it's a systemic solution. So the person's nervous system is healed, the trauma can be worked on, and relationships can be improved as well.
Canales says he's in a much better space today, both physically and mentally.
Truly magical and crazy. I didn't think I'd ever feel that way, but it's just been amazing, and I live through it every single day.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Canales is hosting a fundraiser in collaboration with the Nurturing Hearts Foundation. All the proceeds will go toward offering retreats, workshops, and other programs to first responders free of charge. We've posted more information on our website. All right, well, one of Taiwan's most well-known wartime attractions is echoing with beautiful music. The acoustics are amazing. The Kinmen Tunnel Music Festival sold out in 2 minutes. The tunnel was built during the height of the Cold War to supply shelter to boats from artillery shells from China. 6 shows like this took place, giving audiences a chance to hear cellos and violins in this very unique venue. Performers sat on a small boat being gently paddled around the tunnel while they played a selection of music.
Imagine being there.
It's quite magical, quite haunting, really.
Yeah.
Well, they say age is just a number, so let's see if you agree with this analysis of what's young and what's old.
So if you are 21 years old, that is young. If you are 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, that is young. If you're 27, 28, 29, that's old. If you're 30, that's old. 31 is old. 32 is old. 33 is young. 34.
This is Ben. He's got some thoughts. So according to him, 21 to 26, you're young. 27 to 32, you're old. 40 is young. 50 is young. He goes all the way up to 75 as he groups all the ages. So if you're feeling old now, you just have to wait, because then you become young again.
I feel old when people say, I used to watch you on TV when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Okay,
I know, that
all right.
never helps.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, in the spirit of the spooky season, an elephant calf at the Oregon Zoo is showing off some Halloween tricks.
It hasn't been squashed yet. Oh.
Tula 2 has turned a small pumpkin into a toy. It all started with an annual fall event where they gave the elephants pumpkins to crush. However, she didn't want to crush her. She kicked it around like a ball for quite a while first instead. She eventually figured it out and realized, oh, this thing's tasty, actually.
Yeah.
I could also eat this after I play with it.
Good play, but now it's food
Yeah,
time.
that's right. Cute. Still to come, a big investment in Calgary's aerospace tech sector today. We have details on the plan to boost defense and security projects at YYC.
Skywatch weather camera showing you the clouds that have started to push in. We will be mainly cloudy for tomorrow, but we will actually have temperatures warmer tomorrow. Will it feel warmer? Maybe not with a little less sunshine, but it will feel warm enough considering, hey, we're nearing the end of October here. Okay, 14 is our current temperature at the airport, 16 was our high, and normal is 9. So we've been well above normal and we'll be even further above normal tomorrow. Here's a quick look at what's been happening across the country, and a lot of warm temperatures except for in Manitoba and northwestern Ontario. And Ottawa's a little on the cooler side, but you can see those warmer temperatures in the teens and through parts of BC, through Alberta, through Saskatchewan, and then also check out St. John's, Newfoundland. Got to a high of 18 today, and Halifax 17. And we got close to that in many areas, Drumheller to Medicine Hat, Lethbridge as well. We got to 15 today in Lethbridge, and 16 in Calgary. So it's been a toasty day once again, and we will increase. Now, we did have a windy day, 78 kilometers per hour in Pincher Creek, close to 70 in Lethbridge, and in the 40s for Calgary and Medicine Hat. You can expect these same wind gusts for tomorrow. We can also see these clouds that have already moved in. They will stick around for tomorrow as well. Your 24-hour forecast is brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. There's your windy conditions, 8 degrees at 8 a.m., but getting up to 18 in the afternoon in Calgary. So it's a toasty day for sure. Okay, showers for Salmon Arm and Kelowna. Dry on this side, 18, but mainly cloudy and through Edmonton. 19 for Drumheller tomorrow, and 19 for Lethbridge, and 21 for Medicine Hat. Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. Thousands of teachers from Calgary and across the province converged on the legislature this afternoon. They rallied to let the government know they want classroom conditions. Premier Smith says if there's no negotiated deal by Monday, back to work legislation will follow. The UCP government has introduced Bill 1, an act designed to allow Alberta to reject international treaties signed by Ottawa. And a recount is underway in Ward 12 in Calgary. Mike Jamieson won the council seat by just 29 votes. A recount request for Ward 9 was rejected, so Harrison Clark remains the winner. An NBA player and a coach have been arrested in connection with a federal investigation into sports betting. The Associated Press is reporting that Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier and Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups have been arrested. Exact charges haven't been revealed yet, although the league had previously investigated Rozier. Rozier was in uniform as the Heat took on the Orlando Magic last night, although he did not actually play in that game. Boeing is making an investment in Calgary's technology sector. Today, Boeing and Calgary-based ConvergeX signed a deal committing $2.7 million to establish the Expand Canada Commercialization Centre. The goal is to find partnerships between the military, aviation, and other sectors and commercialize technology.
We see opportunity to cross-collaborate, whether it's agriculture, whether it's life sciences, whether it's cybersecurity or quantum. There's a massive opportunity for us to be able to connect these ideas and technologies and transfer them to multiple sectors.
And it's not necessarily new tech. It could be already commercialized tech. So, for example, like an oil-water separator out of oil and gas into shipbuilding. It can be, or it could be a radar system out of defense into energy and mining. It could be a variety of different things.
Boeing's investment is part of an agreement with Ottawa after the federal government bought 16 Boeing maritime patrol jets to protect Canada's coastline. Locked out workers from another province are on the picket lines in Calgary. Nearly 90 hotel workers at the Coast Victoria Hotel rallied outside the Coast Hotel in downtown Calgary today. The workers say they are in Calgary to raise awareness of their protest outside of BC. Employees have been locked out for more than a month.
We're fighting for $1 more an hour and a safe work environment. That shouldn't be a crazy ask in Canada in this day and age.
Irvin says a skeleton staff is working at the Victoria Hotel. Calgary's Coast Hotel staffing is not affected by the lockout. A local charity was targeted by thieves early Monday morning after they smashed in the front door. It was caught on CCTV at Cerebral Palsy's Kids and Families McLeod Trail location. Now staff want the stolen goods returned so they can continue helping those with limited mobility thrive. Tyson Fedor reports.
The front door is boarded up after thieves broke into the Cerebral Palsy's Kids and Families building this week.
We were definitely targeted, so to have people break through the window, try to pry open the door, like, it's sad.
There was damage to the door and offices were rummaged through. 2 men and 1 woman were seen on surveillance video prowling the premises in the dark. 6 laptops and 3 bikes were stolen.
We've got 6 other laptops that we either have to figure out to either purchase, how we're going to replace them. That would be best case scenarios, that we get some of those things back.
CP Kids and Families help those with limited motor skills learn to ride bikes. They offer programs using adaptive bikes.
One of the bikes that was taken was just donated by Two Wheel View on Friday afternoon. We didn't even have time to put it in inventory. We got it late Friday and it was gone by Monday morning.
It's a real shame when something like this happens because it can be really discouraging, and you know that bicycle would go out to somebody who can help.
Laura Eisted says they receive donations at Two Wheel View, but some they're unable to refurbish as they focus on 2 wheels instead of 3. The partnership spans more than a decade.
Anytime there's a tricycle or anything that we think can be adapted that rolls through the door, we try to make sure we connect them up with CP Kids and Families, because we know that they'll be able to get them into the hands of folks that will be able to use them.
As for Shirley Stetler, she says the thieves almost stole their most prized possession, an $18,000 adaptive bike.
They tried to get this bike out, but they couldn't figure out how to manipulate the doors. Thank goodness.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Anyone with information is asked to call police. The city is finally moving forward on a new water feeder main for North Calgary. The project has been on the books for years, but it remained unfunded. Then the 2024 water feeder main break happened. For 2 months, Calgarians had to cut their water usage because there's only one other feeder main to supply the city. The new line will tie into the Bears Paw water treatment plant and provide water to existing and future communities in the Northwest. Construction has begun, and the city says the line should be in service by the end of 2029. It is earnings season. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has the latest numbers from Ford, which was affected by a fire at one of its key suppliers.
Ford reported a profit of $2.4 billion U.S. for its third quarter. That's double what it made in the same quarter last year. The company is seeing strong sales of trucks and SUVs, but a fire at a key aluminum supplier could cost Ford as much as $2 billion. They rely on the metal to build pickup trucks. Ford is revising its earnings outlook as a result. It's now forecast to be $6 to $6.5 billion, and that's $1 billion less than it was. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up a fraction to 71.49. West Texas Intermediate crude shot up over $3 to 61.79. Western Canadian Select also gained over $1, moving to 46.10. And the TSX gained 203 points today, moving back up over that 30,000 mark. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
An historic moment at the Vatican today as King Charles III met with Pope Leo XIV. The Pontiff and the Archbishop of York provided over the service on the altar of the Sistine Chapel. It focused on the unifying theme of God the Creator, and it was the first time since the Reformation that leaders of the 2 Christian churches have prayed together. The King's state visit is intended to forge closer relations between the Church of England and the Catholic Church. The Calgary Wranglers home opener is tomorrow, and for Andrew Basha, it means he'll be playing in his hometown with plenty of family and friends in the crowd. Glenn has that story for us next. If you have a news tip, you can text us anytime at 10400. Foo Fighters announced an Edmonton date for September 17th, 2026. But again, there's no Calgary show. It's part of the Take Cover tour promoting their new album out today. Queens of the Stone Age will open the concert at Commonwealth Stadium. The Calgary Wranglers play their home opener tomorrow night at the Scotiabank Saddle Dome. Glenn is back with us, and Glenn, it's been kind of an up and down start for the team.
Jared, the Wranglers started the season with a pair of losses. Since then, an overtime loss and an overtime win, so not too bad. Tomorrow night, they face the Coachella Valley Thunderbirds, and for Calgary and Andrew Basha, it'll be a special to play in front of family and friends.
How they get off and clearing the zone is Calgary. Basha quickly in now.
Andrew Basha scored his first goal in the AHL last Sunday in Tucson. It was a beauty and one that any young player would dream about.
You know, definitely a great start. First pro goal, I guess, and you know, it just kind of, I saw lane and, you know, just let my skill take over. Well, I think maybe, you know, you being naive, you think that you're going to do something like that, but I don't know if it's luck or what, but yeah, it was great to get the first one. So
Calgary selects Andrew Basha from Medicine Hat.
Basha was selected by the Flames in the second round, 41st overall in the 2024 NHL draft. Teammates say that goal wasn't luck. The 19-year-old has a very high skill level.
It's a great one. It's a highlight reel for sure. And you know, I was on the ice with him, and I saw him get the puck, and I just kind of stood behind him and watched it. So I had a good view of it.
Head coach Brett Sutter says Basha has a good attitude, and his transition from junior to pro hockey has been good so far.
I think he's getting better every day, which is the important thing. You know, maybe some early growing pains, but I think he's made a point from learning and being a student every day. And you know, I really love his compete and his pace, his work ethic. He's been really good for us. So just look to keep taking another step.
It was a tough finish to Basha's WHL career in Medicine Hat. He basically missed a year and a half with an ankle injury. This year, he's back to full health and says it feels great to put the injury behind him and concentrate on hockey.
It was a grind. It was a long kind of year and a half there with that, and just super grateful that that's, you know, over with for now, and feeling great. And you know, yeah, it's great to just kind of have clear mind and be able to go every day and just kind of focus on getting better.
Basha says he expects to have quite a few family and friends at tomorrow night's game against the Firebirds. Puck drop for that game a little after 7 at the Scotiabank Saddle Dome.
Good stuff. Thank you, Glenn. Let's get our final peek at the forecast. It's such a great few days ahead still.
Yes, fantastic. And I do want to prep you, though. It won't be as bright tomorrow because we'll have more of that Chinook arch over us. And it will be windy tomorrow for much of the day. But look at that daytime high, 18. I mean, it's the wind and the Chinook arch, that all kind of leads to these warmer temperatures.
Several people complain of headaches today, so that is why
there we go.
Is coming.
It is. It'll kick in. So we're looking at least 18 for tomorrow's our high. We may even get it to 20. There's that possibility. And then we start our decline. So 14 degrees for Saturday, rain Saturday night after 10 p.m. And then, you know, daytime highs that will struggle to get to 10 degrees Sunday and all of next week. Okay, Weather Window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. And Janet Ferry sent this in, West Lethbridge Lake, and, you know, not even a ripple in the water. This is from earlier this week.
Beautiful shot.
Yes.
Gorgeous. Thanks for sending. And thank you for your company tonight. We hope you have a terrific evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.